Hey folks, I'm up here in Asheville. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at behind me. Look at the mountains. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Something about the mountains I just love. I just love. I don't know if, people say it's closer to God, whatever, but me personally, I prefer the mountains. Not in the wintertime now. I mean, they're nice. It used to be nice when I was a snow skier. I used to do that every weekend, believe it or not. But not no more. Now I'm a winter wimp. Don't like it. So, when the winter comes in the mountains, I want to go south. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, you know, you always hear these, with the school shootings and all that stuff, you're always going to see the comments from people saying, well, it all happened since we kicked God out of school. And I've got a problem with that because my God is too big to kick out of anywhere. You don't kick him out of school. The problem is not that we don't have enough God in our school. The problem is that we don't have enough God in the people we send to school. Ouch. Oh, I know that hurts some of you. But listen, we don't need to pray over a loudspeaker in order to talk to God. We can do it. So let's go right back down. Let's make it even a little bit more personal. If you work for the public school system and you call yourself a Christian and a believer in God, do people know it? Yeah, okay, it's against the law for you to hold the hands and pray to somebody, but you know what? You can bow your head. On your free time, you got a break, you got lunch. Nothing wrong with you bowing your head and praying. You pray over your lunch, or are you embarrassed to see what the other teachers are going to say? I had a guy working for me once. This was before I got saved. He was a strong Christian at the time. And he would sit in a corner, and he would open up his Bible, and he would bow his head, and he would pray during lunch. And I just watched him for the longest time. But watching him put a seed inside of me, and I've got to tell you, that's one of the reasons why I came to the Lord. Just that little bit of seed. Now, it wasn't a full grown, it didn't blow up. I didn't come to the Lord just because of that. But that was a seed, because I saw that man's face. His faith. I'm sorry, face. Then I want to talk to you about my son. My son Christopher, when he was in elementary school, see, we raised him Christian. We raised him to pray. We raised him to talk to God. We raised him to pray over the meals. And he came and he shared one day. Now, this is after the fact. Chris always held stuff in for some reason. Held it in for a while. But he came and shared that during lunch, he would bow his head and pray. And when he did, when he first started doing that, and this is in elementary school, I don't know exactly what grade it was, the other kids would, he'd pick his head up, they'd steal his French fries. Of course, he didn't like it, but it didn't deter him from praying. So he kept on praying. Every day at lunchtime, and almost every single day, they would steal his food. And then one day, when he got done praying, he picked his head up real quick, and guess what? All the other kids at the table were praying. He didn't say anything. He didn't preach to them. He didn't tell them they were going to hell. None of that stuff. He was a witness that they saw. Actually, they witnessed him and his faith, and then they started to follow along. So if you're sending your children to school, let me ask you, how much of God is in them? And don't blame it on the church. It's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility to raise godly children. And if you are an employee of the church, of the school system, and I don't care what position yours is, how much of God are you bringing into the school, and how much are you displaying? See, if we have more people that have God, that carry God with them in school, our school would be filled with God. That's the problem. We don't have enough God in the people that are going to school. So I'm going to encourage you, if you love God, you love your kids, make sure you raise them in a godly environment. Make sure they say you praying. And in public, sure. Every time you go out to eat, let them pray. And in school, you can ask them to. Now, some of them might not. They might be a little bit too intimidated to do so. But man, they can bow their head, they can pray, and God's going to hear them, and God will answer prayers. And if you're a teacher, and you're a child of God, and you profess that, share your faith. All right, so my tip for today, bring God to school with you. Don't worry about him getting kicked out. He's too darn big to get kicked. He ain't getting kicked out of nowhere. He's just going where we don't take him. That's all. He's not going where we don't take him. All right? It's my tip for today. Take it, swallow it, love somebody, and you make it a God-filled, Spirit-filled, awesome life.